The Druid also needs healing. Volume 3 The Frozen Heir. Chapter 1 The Frozen North. The spirit ship sailed north. Its silver sails caught invisible winds as it glided across the sea without touching the water. Behind them, the sea of mist slowly disappeared beyond the horizon. Ahead, only endless white remained. Snow fell from a gray sky. The air grew colder with every passing hour. Noah stood quietly at the bow of the ship. He pulled his green cloak tighter around himself. Even after restoring 2 fragments, the freezing wind made his chest ache. He covered his mouth. Cough, cough. Ash looked up with concern. You should rest. Noah smiled weakly. I'll be alright. Ash sighed. You always say that. Kai walked over carrying 2 steaming mugs. I made hot chocolate. He handed one to Noah. It's not herbal tea, but it should help. Noah accepted it with a grateful smile. Thank you. Kai grinned. I learned from grandmother Iris. If I can't heal you, I'll at least keep you warm. Noah laughed softly. It's delicious. Mira suddenly looked toward the northern sky. Her oracle mark glowed faintly. The future is changing. Professor Helena lowered her book. What do you see? Mira hesitated. Snow. So much snow. But there aren't any people. By sunset, the ship reached land. The once beautiful harbor had been buried beneath thick ice. Fishing boats remained frozen in place. Their sails had long since turned to frost. No footprints. No voices. Only silence. Kai looked around uneasily. Where is everyone? Professor Helena knelt beside an abandoned cart. She brushed away the snow. These tracks are recent. Only a few days old. Ash's ears twitched. They didn't leave willingly. The group continued inland. Every village they passed was empty. Doors remained open. Meals still rested on tables. Fireplaces had gone cold. It looked as though everyone had vanished overnight. Noah quietly touched the frozen earth. His emerald bracelet glowed. Tiny strands of life energy remained. They fled. They were being chased. Suddenly, a distant horn echoed across the mountains. Boom. Everyone froze. Myra's eyes widened. It's happening. A terrified scream echoed through the blizzard. Help. Without hesitation, Noah ran toward the sound. Kai followed close behind. The others raced after them. They reached the edge of a frozen cliff. Below, a small child stumbled through deep snow. The child couldn't have been older than 10. Wrapped in a tattered white cloak, they clutched a glowing white crystal tightly against their chest. Behind them, hundreds of corrupted frost wolves emerged from the blizzard. Their eyes burned crimson. Black frost covered their bodies. The pack was closing in. The frightened child tripped. The crystal rolled into the snow. One wolf lunged. No. Noah leapt from the cliff. Emerald vines burst from beneath the snow. Druid art. Verdant rampart. Towering walls of living roots erupted between the wolves and the child. Boom. The wolves crashed into the barrier. Kai landed beside Noah with his radiant shield. I've got your back. Golden light spread across the battlefield. Professor Helena summoned protective sigils. Myra's sapphire threads revealed every incoming attack. Ash bared his tiny fangs. Don't underestimate a spirit fox. The child stared at Noah with wide silver blue eyes. You came. Noah blinked. We've met. The child slowly shook their head. No, but, tears welled in their eyes. The guardian said, the man wearing green would come. Silence filled the snowy valley. The white crystal suddenly floated into the air. A brilliant pillar of icy light erupted toward the heavens. The entire frozen north trembled. Far beyond the mountains, something ancient slowly opened its eyes. A deep voice echoed through the blizzard. The heir has been found. Snow began falling even harder. Hidden among the storm, a pair of crimson eyes silently watched Noah's group. The hunt had truly begun. Chapter 2 The Child in the Blizzard. The frozen valley echoed with the howls of corrupted wolves. Awoo! Snow swirled violently around them. The frightened child clutched the glowing white crystal against their chest. Their small body trembled from both fear and exhaustion. Noah knelt beside them. You're safe now. The child looked up. For the first time, their silver blue eyes met Noah's emerald ones. Really? Noah smiled gently. I promise. The wolves attacked. Kai stepped forward. Guardian art. Golden bastion. A wall of golden light erupted from his shield. The first wave of wolves crashed into it. Boom! The barrier trembled but held. Professor Helena raised her staff. Emerald magic circles appeared in the sky. Spirit binding. Chains of glowing vines wrapped around several wolves, stopping them without harming them. Mira closed her eyes. Blue threads spread through the battlefield. 3 are attacking from the left. 5 behind us. 1. She suddenly opened her eyes. Above, everyone looked up. A gigantic corrupted ice hawk dove through the blizzard. Its wings were covered in black frost. Its crimson eyes burned with hatred. Ash leapt from No's shoulder. I'll handle the bird. The tiny fox spirit transformed into a streak of emerald light. He collided with the hawk. Boom! The creature crashed into the snow. The child stared in amazement. A fox. Ash proudly puffed out his chest. I'm a great spirit fox. Just smaller. Kai laughed. Very small. I'm compact. More wolves surrounded them. Noah slowly stood. He could feel something strange. The wolves weren't trying to kill them. They were focused only on the child. Noah whispered, "They're hunting the crystal." The child instinctively stepped backward. "No, you can't take it." The white crystal glowed brilliantly. An icy aura spread across the valley. The wolves hesitated, as though afraid. Professor Helena noticed immediately. The crystal. It's protecting them. Mira nodded. It isn't just a relic. It's choosing its owner. Noah turned back to the child. "My name is Noah. What's yours?" The child hesitated. For several long moments. Only the wind answered. Finally. Lumi. My name is Lumi. Noah smiled warmly. It's nice to meet you, Lumi. The child blinked. No one had smiled at them in a very long time. Suddenly, a deafening roar echoed across the mountains. The snow beneath their feet shook. Far away, an enormous castle of ice appeared through the blizzard. Its towers stretched into the clouds. Dark energy surrounded its highest spire. Professor Helena's expression changed. The Winter Palace. Kai frowned. Is that where we're going? Before anyone could answer, Lumi grabbed No's sleeve. You can't. Everyone looked toward the child. Lumi's voice trembled. The Guardian died there. Silence filled the valley. The monster is still waiting. Noah gently placed a hand on Lumi's head. Then we'll face it together. Lumi shook their head frantically. You don't understand. It killed the strongest person I knew. It can't be beaten. No's expression remained calm. I'm not going there to destroy it. Lumi looked at him in confusion. Then why? Noah looked toward the frozen castle. Because, if it was once a guardian, then someone is still waiting to be saved. Ash smiled. There he goes again. Kai laughed. Our healer really never changes. The white crystal suddenly floated from Lumi's hands. It hovered before Noah. A soft female voice echoed through the snow. Kindness acknowledged. The crystal released countless snowflakes made of pure light. One landed on Noah's emerald bracelet. Another vine of white frost wrapped gently around his wrist. Not a fragment. Just a blessing. Lumi's eyes widened. The Guardian accepted you. Far above the valley, hidden inside the blizzard, a tall figure watched silently. Clad in black armor covered with crimson frost, the mysterious warrior smiled beneath a horned helmet. So, the Archdruid has arrived. A crimson butterfly landed on their shoulder. Excellent. The first harbinger will be pleased. The warrior vanished into the storm. The enemy had found them. And the race for the third fragment had truly begun. Chapter 3: The Last Guardian's Promise. The blizzard had finally calmed. Only gentle snow drifted across the silent valley as Noah and his companions followed Lumi toward the ancient Winter Palace. The massive fortress loomed over the frozen landscape, its once proud walls buried beneath centuries of ice. Lumi walked a few steps ahead, clutching the glowing white crystal. I've never come this close again, they whispered. Kai glanced at the enormous gates. I don't blame you. The palace felt abandoned, yet Noah could sense countless lingering spirits. They weren't hostile. They were waiting. As Noah stepped through the broken gates, the crystal in Lumi's hands shone brilliantly. A pillar of white light enveloped them both. The world around them disappeared. Noah found himself standing in a memory. The palace was no longer ruined. Its towers sparkled beneath a clear winter sky. Children laughed as snow gently fell across the gardens. Spirit wolves played beside frozen fountains. Life once flourished here. Then, the laughter stopped. Dark clouds consumed the heavens. Black snow began to fall. Corrupted beasts poured across the mountains like an endless tide. Standing before the palace gates was a lone warrior. He wore silver armor adorned with snowflake patterns. A flowing white cloak danced in the icy wind. A massive spear of enchanted ice rested in his hand. His calm blue eyes never left the approaching darkness. Noah immediately recognized him. The Winter Guardian. The warrior smiled without turning. So, another guardian has come. Though merely a memory, it was as though he could see Noah. My name is Aster, guardian of eternal winter. Behind Aster stood a small child. Young Lumi. Crying. I don't want you to go. Aster knelt before them and gently placed the white crystal into their hands. Lumi. If I fall, you must live. Lumi shook their head violently. No, we'll run together. Aster smiled sadly. If we run, there will be nowhere left to protect. The palace bells rang. The enemy had arrived. Thousands of corrupted monsters surrounded the kingdom. At their center stood a towering figure cloaked in crimson frost. Its face remained hidden behind a horned helmet. The first harbinger. Even in memory, its presence felt overwhelming. Aster raised his spear. His voice echoed across the battlefield. As long as winter remains, hope will never disappear. A blizzard unlike any before erupted from the palace. Countless spirit wolves answered his call. Snow dragons formed from pure mana circled the sky. The guardian charged alone. The battle was magnificent. Every strike froze mountains. Every spell reshaped glaciers. Spirit beasts fought beside their guardian until the very end. But corruption could not be frozen. Each defeated monster simply rose again. The darkness spread endlessly. Hours became days. Days became weeks. Aster continued fighting, until finally, his spear shattered, his armor cracked, his mana was exhausted. The harbinger raised a crimson blade. Noah wanted to move, wanted to help, but memories could never be changed. The blade fell. Aster smiled one last time. Not at the harbinger, but toward Lumi. Live, for the future. The memory shattered like glass. Noah returned to the ruined palace. Lumi had fallen to their knees. Tears streamed down their face. I watched everything. I couldn't save him. Noah quietly sat beside the child. You weren't meant to. Lumi looked at him with tear-filled eyes. You were the reason he kept fighting. The promise he wanted to protect. The crystal floated into the air once more. A gentle voice echoed through the frozen halls. Guardian's memory, acknowledged. A glowing snowflake drifted toward Noah. When it touched his forehead, countless memories flooded into his mind. The hidden pathways beneath the palace. The location of the third sanctuary. The trial awaiting the next guardian. Professor Helena gasped. The palace. It's responding to you. Suddenly, the frozen throne at the end of the hall began to tremble. Ancient gears hidden beneath the ice awakened for the first time in centuries. The floor slowly split apart. A stairway descended into darkness. Cold air carrying immense spiritual energy surged upward. Mira stared into the abyss. The sanctuary. We found it. Far away. Standing atop an icy cliff overlooking the palace. The first harbinger watched the ancient stairway open. So, the final trial begins. A cruel smile formed beneath the horned helmet. This time, there will be no guardian left to save them. The harbinger disappeared into a crimson snowstorm. Deep beneath the palace, something ancient slowly opened its eyes. The third sanctuary had awakened. Chapter 4 Castle of Eternal Snow. The ancient stairway stretched deep beneath the winter palace. Each step was carved from translucent blue ice that shimmered with a soft inner light. Strange runes glowed faintly beneath Noah's feet as he led the group downward. The deeper they descended, the warmer the air became. Kai frowned. Shouldn't it be getting colder? Professor Helena gently brushed frost from a nearby wall. No, this warmth isn't natural. It's spirit energy. At the bottom of the staircase stood an enormous pair of crystal doors. Towering over 20 feet high, they were carved with images of wolves, snow dragons, and a lone guardian standing beneath an ancient tree whose branches were covered in white leaves. Noah's heart skipped a beat. The world tree. It was depicted exactly as he remembered from his previous life. Someone from long ago had known the Archdruid. Lumi stepped forward. The white crystal floated from their hands and gently touched the center of the door. Click. The ancient lock awakened. Blue light spread across countless runes. With a deep rumble, the doors slowly opened. Beyond them lay a breathtaking sight. A hidden kingdom beneath the palace. The castle of eternal snow. Unlike the ruined fortress above, this sanctuary remained untouched by time. Crystal bridges stretched across frozen lakes. Trees of silver ice sparkled beneath a sky of shimmering auroras. Spirit wolves wandered peacefully among glowing flowers that somehow bloomed in eternal winter. Snowflakes drifted lazily through warm sunlight that had no visible source. Ash gasped. "It's beautiful." Even Professor Helena stood speechless. "I thought every record describing this place was exaggerated." It wasn't. At the center of the sanctuary rose a magnificent throne of living crystal. Above it floated an enormous snowflake-shaped crystal radiating pure spiritual energy. Noah could immediately feel its presence. The third fragment. It was here. As they approached the throne, dozens of translucent wolves appeared from the snow. Unlike the corrupted beasts outside, these spirits radiated peace. The largest among them stepped forward. Its fur shimmered like moonlight. Its eyes glowed a calm sapphire blue. Lumi instinctively bowed. The royal guardian. The wolf slowly approached Noah. Everyone remained perfectly still. It circled him once, then lowered its head. Professor Helena's eyes widened. "It's acknowledging you." The entire wolf pack followed. One by one, they bowed. Suddenly, the sanctuary trembled. A loud crack echoed through the castle. Black veins of corruption spread across the crystal floor. The auroras flickered. Spirit wolves began growling. Mira clutched her head. "It's here. The corruption found us." Dark mist poured from beneath the throne. A deep voice echoed throughout the sanctuary. So, the Archdruid finally arrived. The shadows gathered together, taking the shape of a towering knight clad in frozen black armor. His body wasn't truly physical. It was an echo. A fragment of the corruption that had slain Aster centuries ago. The frozen warden. His crimson eyes burned with endless hatred. "You are too late. The Winter Guardian is dead. This sanctuary belongs to despair." Kai immediately raised his shield. Golden light erupted around the group. "I won't let you near them." The frozen warden merely laughed. One swing of his enormous sword shattered the icy ground before them. The shockwave blasted through the sanctuary. Spirit wolves shielded Lumi. Ash leapt into the air, narrowly avoiding the attack. Noah remained calm. He didn't attack. Instead, he looked directly into the warden's eyes. "I can still hear your spirit." The warden froze. "For only a heartbeat. You were once a protector." The knight's crimson eyes flickered. "If any part of you remains, I'll bring you home." The corruption exploded violently. "No, I am despair." The sanctuary shook. The floating crystal dimmed. The wolves howled. The throne cracked. Deep within the crystal, the third fragment pulsed, responding, not to power, but to Noah's unwavering compassion. Far above the castle, hidden beyond reality itself, the first harbinger slowly opened their eyes. The sanctuary has accepted him. A chilling smile appeared beneath the crimson helm. "Excellent. Now, begin the trial." The crystal above the throne erupted into brilliant white light. Ancient bells rang throughout the castle of eternal snow. A majestic voice echoed across the sanctuary. "The third trial shall now commence." The floor beneath Noah and his companions dissolved into countless glowing snowflakes. One by one, they vanished, transported to the sacred trial prepared by the Winter Guardian centuries ago. Chapter 5: The Ice Wolf Pack. The world reformed in a swirl of glowing snowflakes. When Noah opened his eyes, the castle of eternal snow had vanished. Instead, he stood in the middle of a vast frozen forest. Towering pine trees glittered with crystal frost, and silver moonlight bathed the snow in an ethereal glow. The air was silent, too silent. "Where is everyone?" Kai asked, gripping his shield. Mira looked around uneasily. "The trial separated us. Only Noah, Ash, and Lumi remained together. Professor Helena and Kai had disappeared." Ash's ears twitched. "Something's coming." A low growl echoed between the trees. One, then another. Soon dozens of glowing crimson eyes appeared in the darkness. An enormous pack of wolves slowly emerged. Their once white fur was stained with black corruption, jagged ice crystals protruding from their bodies. At their head stood a massive alpha wolf. It was nearly twice the size of the others. One sapphire blue eye remained clear, the other glowed crimson. Noah frowned. "It's resisting. The corruption hasn't completely consumed it." The wolves charged. Lumi instinctively hid behind Noah. Ash prepared to leap forward. But Noah raised one hand. No. Ash blinked. You're not going to fight. They aren't our enemies. They're suffering. The Alpha lunged with terrifying speed. Instead of attacking, Noah stepped forward. He spread both hands. Ancient green runes blossomed beneath his feet. Leaves appeared where none should exist in eternal winter. The forest remembers every life. Even beneath the snow, a gentle emerald light surrounded the Alpha. The beast roared in agony. Black mist erupted from its body. It struggled violently, trying to resist. The other wolves circled Noah, snarling. Yet none attacked. It was as if they were waiting, watching, hoping. The Alpha collapsed. Memories flooded Noah's mind. He saw Aster kneeling beside a litter of wolf pups centuries ago. The Alpha had once been one of those pups. It had protected the sanctuary ever since. Until corruption claimed it. Tears formed in Noah's eyes. You've protected this place for so long. You've done enough. The emerald light intensified. The corruption screamed. Cracks spread through the black crystal embedded in the Alpha's chest. Crack. The crystal shattered. A brilliant burst of white light illuminated the forest. The black mist vanished. The Alpha slowly stood. Its crimson eye returned to a brilliant sapphire blue. The jagged black ice dissolved into shimmering snow. The great wolf lowered its head before Noah. Then, it gently rubbed its head against Noah's shoulder. Ash laughed. I think it likes you. Noah smiled softly. I'm honored. One by one, every wolf in the pack approached. Each bowed before Noah, then sat quietly around him. Lumi stared in amazement. They remember the Archdruid. Professor Helena's earlier words echoed in Noah's mind. Nature never forgets kindness. The Alpha let out a long, powerful howl. A woo. Across the frozen forest, hundreds of answering howls echoed in response. Spirit wolves emerged from every direction. Not corrupted, not hostile. They had been waiting for the one who could heal their king. Suddenly, the ground shook. The peaceful moment shattered. Black fissures tore through the snow. Corruption surged upward once more. The Alpha growled fiercely. It stepped in front of Noah. The entire wolf pack formed a protective circle. Lumi looked frightened. Something big is coming. The snowstorm intensified. A colossal silhouette slowly emerged between the trees. It was far larger than any wolf. Its body was wrapped in chains of frozen corruption. Its glowing crimson eyes burned with endless rage. The Frost Behemoth, the true guardian of this trial. The Alpha looked back at Noah. For a brief moment, Noah understood. The wolf wasn't asking to be saved. It was asking to fight together. Noah placed a gentle hand on its head. We'll protect this forest, together. The Alpha's eyes shone with determination. As the Frost Behemoth roared, the Ice Wolf pack answered with a united howl that shook the frozen mountains. The next phase of the third trial had begun. Chapter 6: The Third Trial. The Frost Behemoth's roar echoed across the frozen forest. Snow exploded into the air as the colossal beast charged toward Noah and the Ice Wolf pack. The Alpha Wolf stepped forward without hesitation. Its sapphire eyes blazed with determination. The wolves answered with a united howl. A woo. The third trial had begun. The Frost Behemoth swung one of its enormous arms. Massive icicles burst from the ground. Kai raised his shield. Golden Bastion. A wall of golden light intercepted the attack. Boom. The barrier cracked. Kai was forced back several steps. It's stronger than anything we've fought. Professor Helena tightened her grip on her staff. This isn't an ordinary monster. It's the trial itself. Ash darted through the battlefield like a streak of emerald light. The little spirit fox distracted the behemoth while Mira used her oracle sight. Blue runes circled her eyes. I can see its core. She suddenly froze. No, there are two. Professor Helena frowned. Two. Mira nodded slowly. One belongs to the behemoth. The other belongs to someone trapped inside. The behemoth roared again. This time, Noah heard something beneath the roar. A voice. Help. Very faint. Very distant. But unmistakably human. Noah closed his eyes. So that's your trial. Ancient druidic runes spread beneath his feet. Green vines bloomed across the frozen ground. Warmth filled the forest. Even the snowflakes slowed as if listening. Noah spoke softly. I know you're still there. I won't abandon you. The Frost Behemoth staggered. For a brief moment, its crimson eyes turned blue. A deep, sorrowful voice escaped from within. Guardian, Then corruption surged again. The monster screamed in agony. Black chains wrapped tighter around its body. Suddenly, the entire world stopped. Everything froze. Even the falling snow hung motionless in the air. A gentle female voice echoed throughout the frozen forest. Third trial. Choose. The forest disappeared. Noah found himself standing inside a vast field of white flowers beneath a twilight sky. Before him stood two glowing crystal mirrors. The first mirror showed Kai, Professor Helena, Mira, Ash, Lumi, all surrounded by corruption. If Noah reached them immediately, they would survive. The second mirror revealed the frost behemoth. Deep inside its chest, an elderly man in silver armor remained chained by darkness. It was Aster, the winter guardian. His spirit still lingered, keeping the corruption sealed. If Noah chose to save him, his friends would die. The voice spoke once more. One, or many. Choose. Silence. Noah looked at both visions. His companions. His friends. Then, the lonely guardian who had continued protecting everyone. Even after death. Lumi cried. Noah, please save everyone. Kai smiled calmly. Don't worry about us. Ash lowered his ears. Professor Helena quietly closed her eyes. Mira simply watched. No one wanted to force Noah to decide. Noah slowly smiled. Then he shook his head. I refuse. The world became silent. The ancient voice spoke again. Refuse. There is always another way. The flowers around Noah bloomed. Emerald leaves appeared among the snow. The world seed on his wrist began to shine. Noah placed one hand over his heart. I am a healer. My role has never been to choose who deserves saving. I will save everyone. The trial trembled. Cracks spread across both mirrors. The female voice laughed softly. Not mockingly. Proudly. Correct. Both mirrors shattered into countless snowflakes. The frozen world dissolved. Noah returned to the battlefield. Time resumed. The frost behemoth was still charging. The chains binding Aster glowed brilliantly. The alpha wolf looked toward Noah. As if waiting, Noah raised both hands. Ancient druidic power erupted from the world seed. Gigantic emerald roots burst from beneath the frozen earth. Not to bind, not to destroy, to embrace. The roots wrapped around both the behemoth and Aster's imprisoned spirit. Golden, emerald, and icy blue light merged together. The corruption screamed. The trial had accepted Noah's answer. High above the battlefield, hidden beyond the clouds, the first harbinger watched everything. Interesting. So the Archdruid rejected the trial itself. A smile formed beneath the crimson helmet. Perhaps, you truly are worthy of being our greatest enemy. The emerald light grew brighter. The frost behemoth let out one final roar. The chains of corruption began to crack. The final stage of the third trial had begun. Chapter 7 The Frozen King. The emerald roots wrapped tightly around the frost behemoth. The monstrous guardian roared as waves of corruption erupted from its body. The ice wolf pack stood their ground, refusing to retreat. One by one, the wolves howled toward the heavens. Their voices echoed across the sacred forest. Noah could feel it. The trial wasn't asking him to defeat the behemoth. It wanted him to save its king. The emerald light spread deeper. Through the corruption, through the chains, through the frozen heart buried beneath centuries of despair. Then, crack. The behemoth froze. Its enormous crimson eyes flickered. For just a heartbeat, they turned sapphire blue. A calm, ancient voice echoed from within. Archdruid. Noah smiled. I finally found you. The black chains shattered. A pillar of icy blue light burst into the sky. The colossal body of the behemoth slowly dissolved into countless snowflakes. Standing within the light was a towering man clothed in royal white armor trimmed with silver fur. A crown of living crystal rested upon his brow. His long silver hair flowed like moonlit snow. His sapphire eyes carried endless kindness and immeasurable sorrow. Lumi gasped. The frozen king. The king looked around the forest in silence. The wolves bowed immediately. Even the alpha lowered its head. The king gently smiled. You've protected our home well. The alpha whimpered softly. It had waited centuries to hear those words again. Suddenly, black mist exploded from beneath the king's feet. The corruption had not disappeared. It had merely changed form. A monstrous knight clad in jagged crimson ice emerged from the shadows. Its armor resembled broken glaciers. Its sword radiated death. The frozen warden. Its true body had finally awakened. You cannot reclaim this sanctuary, the warden growled. The king belongs to despair. It charged. Kai intercepted it instantly. Guardian's Bastion. Golden light erupted across the battlefield. The impact sent shockwaves through the forest. Professor Helena summoned emerald spirit chains. Mira covered everyone with protective barriers. Ash darted through the air, distracting the warden with blinding speed. Still, nothing slowed it. The Frozen King stepped forward. No. His voice was calm. This battle is mine. He raised one hand. An ancient spear of pure ice appeared. It wasn't a weapon forged for war. It was the royal spear that had protected the Winter Kingdom for generations. The warden laughed. You still believe kindness can save anyone? The king's expression remained gentle. I do. The warden roared and unleashed a storm of corrupted frost. Entire mountains of ice rose toward the sky. The Frozen King calmly thrust his spear into the ground. Snowflakes filled the battlefield. Every corrupted icicle transformed into harmless white blossoms. The storm disappeared, not by force, but by purification. The warden screamed in fury. Impossible. The Frozen King looked toward Noah. You reminded me what it truly means to protect others. He smiled warmly. Thank you. The warden gathered every remaining trace of corruption into one final attack. A gigantic blade of black ice descended from the heavens. Noah immediately raised his hands. Gigantic emerald branches erupted upward. The Frozen King added his own power. Countless crystal snowflakes merged with Noah's emerald leaves. Nature and winter became one. The blade shattered into glittering light. The corruption began leaving the warden's body. Its armor cracked. Its crimson glow faded. Inside, a weary knight slowly emerged. An old guardian, who had once sworn to protect the kingdom. The warden collapsed to his knees. Forgive me. The Frozen King gently embraced him. There is nothing to forgive. The knight smiled peacefully, then dissolved into countless snowflakes carried away by the wind. The sacred forest fell silent. Warm sunlight broke through the clouds for the first time in centuries. Flowers of ice bloomed across the snow. The wolves ran joyfully through the forest. Lumi wiped away tears. We really did it. Noah smiled. We're not finished yet. He looked toward the center of the sanctuary. High above the ancient throne, the third fragment shone brighter than ever. It was finally ready to awaken. Far beyond the sanctuary, the first harbinger watched in silence. Even the Frozen King has returned. The Crimson Warrior slowly clenched their fist. So be it. I'll simply destroy everything. Their crimson eyes burned beneath the horned helm as the skies above the frozen north darkened once more. The final chapter of the third sanctuary had begun. Chapter 8. The Third Fragment awakens. Silence settled over the sacred forest. The last traces of corruption faded into shimmering snowflakes, carried away by the cold northern wind. For the first time in centuries, the castle of eternal snow was at peace. The Ice Wolf Pack lifted their heads toward the sky. Their united howl echoed across the sanctuary. It was not a cry of battle. It was a song of homecoming. The Frozen King approached Noah. His crystal crown glowed softly beneath the aurora. You have done what I could not. You saved not only my kingdom, but also those who had already lost hope. Noah smiled gently. We simply reminded them who they truly were. The king chuckled. That answer. It truly belongs to an archdruid. At the center of the sanctuary, the enormous snowflake crystal began to descend. Lumi stared in amazement. The third fragment. It has awakened. The crystal floated before Noah. Countless emerald leaves spiraled around brilliant snowflakes. Nature and winter resonated together. The world seed on Noah's wrist pulsed with warm light. A familiar ancient voice echoed throughout the sanctuary. Third world seed fragment. Recognized. The crystal slowly merged into Noah's bracelet. A wave of emerald and icy blue light exploded across the frozen kingdom. Mountains shook. Frozen rivers thawed just enough for crystal clear water to flow once more. Dead trees bloomed with white leaves. The aurora stretched from horizon to horizon. Noah staggered. Power flooded through every part of his body. Memories from his previous life returned in fragments. He saw the world tree. Ancient guardians gathered beneath its branches. Aster laughing beside him. The Frozen King standing proudly before the sanctuary. And a mysterious figure hidden among the roots of the world tree. Its face remained concealed, yet its presence felt strangely familiar. Before Noah could focus, the vision vanished. Professor Helena quickly caught him. Easy. The fragment is restoring your memories. Noah took a slow breath. I remembered. Someone. But not who. Mira quietly observed him. Then we'll discover the answer together. The emerald bracelet transformed. A third leaf of pure crystal bloomed upon the world seed. Ancient runes surrounded Noah. The sanctuary itself acknowledged his growth. Archdruid authority 30% restored. A new blessing echoed through the air. Authority unlocked. Winter Grove domain. Noah could now call upon both the vitality of forests and the tranquility of eternal winter. The frozen king knelt before Noah. Every spirit wolf followed. Then, every spirit within the sanctuary bowed. Not in submission, but in gratitude. You are now the true protector of the northern sanctuary. Noah immediately shook his head. I cannot replace you. The king smiled warmly. You never could. Our duty is different. I protected this place. You protect the future. The king turned toward Lumi. The child looked down nervously. I'm not strong enough. You already are. The frozen king removed his crystal crown. It dissolved into countless glowing snowflakes. Those snowflakes gently settled upon Lumi's head. A small crystal circlet formed. The sanctuary responded immediately. The ice wolf pack surrounded Lumi. The alpha gently nudged the child. The wolves had accepted their new guardian. Tears filled Lumi's eyes. I'll protect everyone. The frozen king smiled proudly. I know. His body slowly began dissolving into light. My duty has finally ended. He looked toward Noah one final time. My old friend, thank you. With those final words, the frozen king disappeared into the aurora. Peacefully. Suddenly, the sky darkened. The peaceful aurora twisted into crimson. A pressure unlike anything before descended upon the sanctuary. Ashes first stood on end. He's here. Far above the sanctuary. Space itself cracked open. A towering figure stepped through the crimson rift. Black armor. A horned crimson helmet. Eyes burning like dying stars. The first harbinger. For the first time, the enemy stood before them. He slowly looked at Noah. So, the Archdruid has awakened another fragment. A chilling smile appeared beneath the helmet. Good. It will make taking the next one far more enjoyable. The harbinger drew a colossal crimson blade. The frozen sanctuary trembled. The true battle had finally begun. The Druid also needs healing. Volume 3 The Frozen Heir. Chapter 9 The First Harbinger. The crimson blade slowly descended. It never touched the ground. Yet the entire frozen sanctuary trembled beneath its overwhelming presence. The auroras vanished. The sky darkened. Every spirit wolf instinctively lowered its head. Even the mountains seemed to hold their breath. The first harbinger had arrived. Noah stepped forward. Emerald leaves drifted around him despite the frozen wind. His bracelet, now bearing 3 glowing world seed leaves, radiated a calm, ancient light. Behind him stood Kai, Mira, Professor Helena, Ash, Lumi, and the Ice Wolf pack. No one retreated. The harbinger tilted his head. Interesting. Even after witnessing my power, you still stand. Kai raised his shield. If you want Noah, you'll have to go through us first. The harbinger chuckled. Very well. Without moving, the harbinger simply lifted one finger. The world shattered. Boom. A mountain in the distance split cleanly in half. The shockwave alone sent everyone except Noah flying backward. Kai's shield cracked. Myra's barrier shattered instantly. Professor Helena struggled to remain standing. Ash tumbled across the snow before scrambling back to Noah's shoulder. Only Noah remained unmoving. The harbinger's crimson eyes narrowed. So, you have grown stronger. Noah met his gaze. I've only just begun. The harbinger vanished. In less than a heartbeat, he appeared directly before Noah. Their eyes met. Noah could finally feel it. This wasn't merely powerful magic. It was an existence that stood on the same level as the ancient guardians. The harbinger whispered, "You still remember nothing." Before Noah could answer, the harbinger gently flicked Noah's forehead. A harmless gesture. Yet Noah was hurled hundreds of feet across the sanctuary. He crashed through crystal pillars before finally stopping. Blood trickled from the corner of his mouth. Kai stared in disbelief. That wasn't even an attack. The harbinger sighed. So disappointing. The one who once stood beside the world tree has become so fragile. Noah slowly stood again. His chest ached. His breathing was ragged. His sickly body had reached its limit. Even with 30% of his Archdruid authority restored, he couldn't match the Harbinger. Not yet. Suddenly, the Frozen King's voice echoed from the lingering spirit energy. Remember, Noah, power alone has never made you the Archdruid. Noah smiled faintly. You're right. He closed his eyes. Instead of gathering mana, he reached out to the sanctuary itself. The forests, the wolves, the snow, the rivers, every living spirit answered. Emerald vines intertwined with crystal snowflakes. The entire sanctuary glowed. The Harbinger watched silently. Beautiful. Then he drew his colossal crimson blade. For that alone, I shall erase you personally. The blade fell. The heavens split apart. Noah extended one hand, not to block, not to attack, to protect. A gigantic world tree made of emerald wood and crystal ice erupted from beneath the sanctuary. Its branches stretched across the sky. Its roots embraced every living creature. The crimson blade struck the tree. Craash. The impact shook the northern continent. Leaves of emerald and snow scattered like stars. The sanctuary survived, but the tree shattered. Noah collapsed to one knee. His body trembled violently. He coughed blood into the snow. The Harbinger stared at him in silence. Remarkable. You protected everyone. But now, who protects you? The Harbinger slowly walked toward Noah. Every step froze reality itself. Kai tried to stand. His body refused. Myra's mana was exhausted. Professor Helena could only watch helplessly. Ash growled despite trembling. Lumi tightly gripped the Guardian's circlet. The Ice Wolf pack stood in front of Noah. Even knowing they could never win, the Harbinger stopped only a few feet away. He looked down at Noah. Then, to everyone's surprise, he sheathed his blade. There is no honor in cutting down a sapling. No one moved. The Harbinger turned toward the Crimson Rift. When you recover the remaining fragments, when you remember who you truly are, I will return. He looked back one final time. And then, I will finally keep my promise. Noah frowned. Promise. The Harbinger's voice softened. So, you really don't remember. For just an instant, there was sadness beneath the helmet. Then he disappeared into the crimson sky. Silence returned. The sanctuary slowly calmed. Noah stared at the place where the Harbinger had vanished. A single question echoed in his mind. What promise? Far beyond the northern horizon, the Harbinger stood alone atop a crimson cliff. He looked toward the distant world tree hidden beyond time. Wait for me, my oldest friend. His whispered words were carried away by the wind. The mystery of the Harbinger had only just begun. The Druid also needs healing. Volume 3 The Frozen Heir. Chapter 10 Beyond the Frozen Horizon. Silence lingered after the first Harbinger disappeared. The crimson rift slowly closed above the frozen sanctuary, and the northern sky regained its brilliant aurora. No one spoke. The battle had ended, yet everyone understood one truth. The Harbinger had never fought seriously. Noah remained kneeling in the snow. His breathing was uneven. A violent cough escaped his lips. Blood stained the white snow beneath him. Kai immediately rushed over. Easy. He carefully supported Noah before he could collapse. Professor Helena examined him with spirit magic. The world seed protected his soul, but his body is still that of a sickly 17-year-old. The authority is growing faster than his body can endure. Noah smiled weakly. So, I still need healing. Ash sighed dramatically. You really are impossible. Everyone laughed. For the first time since entering the frozen north, the tension disappeared. Lumi quietly approached Noah. The young guardian wore the crystal circlet with newfound confidence. The alpha wolf followed closely behind. Will you really leave? Noah nodded. There are still 3 fragments waiting. Lumi lowered their head. I'll miss everyone. Kai gently ruffled Lumi's silver hair. You've got an entire sanctuary depending on you now. And besides, we'll come back. The ice wolf pack gathered before the group. The alpha stepped forward and gently nudged No's hand. A warm emerald glow spread from No's fingertips. You'll protect this place. The alpha answered with a proud howl. Soon, hundreds of wolves joined in. Their voices echoed across the northern mountains like a farewell blessing. Near the ancient throne, the frozen king's spear remained embedded in crystal ice. As Noah walked past it, the spear dissolved into countless snowflakes. Those snowflakes formed a small crystal pendant. It floated gently into Noah's hand. Professor Helena smiled. A guardian's farewell. The northern sanctuary has acknowledged you as its eternal ally. Noah carefully fastened the pendant beside the World Seed bracelet. Before leaving, Noah turned to look at the sanctuary one final time. The once frozen rivers flowed peacefully. Spirit wolves ran freely through blooming fields of white flowers. The castle of eternal snow was alive again. Lumi stood at the palace gates, surrounded by the wolves. They waved enthusiastically. Come back someday. Ash waved both paws. We'll bring snacks. Lumi laughed. I'll hold you to that. The spirit ship rose into the northern sky. The frozen kingdom slowly disappeared beneath the clouds. Inside the cabin, Professor Helena opened the ancient journal left behind by the guardians. 3 pages now glowed with emerald light. Only 3 blank pages remained. She carefully turned to the next one. A map slowly revealed itself. Jagged mountains pierced the clouds. Floating islands drifted above endless skies. Ancient ruins rested upon impossible cliffs. Across the top of the page, elegant Druidic script appeared. The 4th Sanctuary. Skyreach Peaks. Mira quietly read the final line. Seek the guardian who walks among the heavens. Before the sky itself falls. At that very moment, far above the clouds, a lone figure stood upon a floating island. Golden feathers drifted through the wind. Massive white wings slowly unfolded behind a young warrior dressed in silver and gold. They gazed toward the distant north where Noah's spirit ship disappeared beyond the horizon. A gentle smile crossed their face. So, the Archdruid is finally coming. Behind them, the skies cracked. Dark clouds swallowed the sunlight. A deafening roar echoed across the heavens. An enormous shadow stirred within the storm. The 4th Sanctuary had already begun to fall. Far away, the first harbinger stood atop a crimson cliff overlooking the world. 6 points of light shimmered across the land. 3 still glowed. 3 had already been restored. He quietly closed his eyes. We're halfway there. His voice carried both anticipation and sorrow. Please, remember before it's too late. He vanished into crimson mist. The spirit ship sailed beyond the frozen horizon. A new journey awaited. New allies, new enemies, and new memories hidden among the skies. The road toward the world tree continued. End of Volume 3 The Frozen Heir. Thank you for listening to II Fiction Stories. Please like, comment, share and subscribe. See you again next time.